We're back. I like this hook. You got a book you want to tell us about? Well, let's talk. There's no other place to do it. Only on Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze.
Welcome to Catch Craze Podcast Audio Mix. I am your host with the most, Sam, the Crazy Man Vera, and I am here with none other than
George Medina.
George Medina.
That's right.
George
I see you
Medina.
with. Wow. Should give me a little beat together for me. Wow.
What it be like,
So
Jorge
what's
Medina? Hey,
up, man? Nothing, man. Just hanging out, doing my thing. What are you up to? What have you been up to? What are you up to creatively, Sam? Other than putting the show together and throwing different things up on the screen and confusing everybody.
I know, right? I know. I have this playing, and we got the dang audio thing playing in the background.
We're still playing in the background?
Dang, go. Oh, no, I gotta get the guest part. Who's our guest on today?
Today, it'll be our friend Charles Dixon. Charles Dixon, yes. He's been around the independent circuit for quite a while now. With you're posting up some of the stuff up there. Yeah, he's been around, man. He's got some good stuff, and he's actually been doing comics, and he's actually got on his Instagram Sensei Vegan. So I want to talk to him about that. Yeah, he's going hardcore with that. He was very big into the martial arts and stuff like that. So I'm think he's combined a few things.
How did we meet him?
What was it? I want to say Big Apple.
Was it
Big Apple Comic Con? Was it Big Apple or was it the New York?
Was it New York Comic? I think it was New York
first
Comic Con. Yeah, our first time there. He was downstairs. We were upstairs. I believe we were on the. Oh, were we downstairs too? I know he had a setup downstairs. And we were walking around because we were recording for Catch the Craze. I think that's how we met him. We interviewed him.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Damn. So wow.
That's when I had the makeshift mic flag. I made it out of a box, and I printed the logo.
And I remember him at the after show.
What
right?
after show?
Didn't we sponsor one of the Comic-Con after shows?
The after party. The after party.
Yeah, the after party. That's what I meant.
Sorry, the indie after party.
That's the ticket.
I had to get up.
Yeah, that's the ticket. The after party.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, we met him there, I think.
Word.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. We've known Charles for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been doing some stuff underground. I wanted to talk to him about some stuff that he's been working on, and he'll be on the show today.
So what are we talking about today, Georgie?
What is the plan today?
I think it's Comic Cons for 2020, right?
No, I think it's Are You Ready for Growth?
Are you ready for growth? See, Sam, you're not paying attention.
I think that's what it is.
Was it?
Growth, yeah.
Growth. Are you ready to grow?
Right.
Oh, no.
Are you ready to grow, Sam?
Oh, I'm ready.
You're ready to grow?
Yes, let the others call me Eddie, but for you, a special ed because I said so, spaghetti. That's how we do, right?
So when you say you're ready for growth, what do you mean? What is growth?
I think it's been a minute. We've been working really hard. I think I'm ready. No, I know I'm ready. There's no thinking because thinking is that 50-50. I know that at this point in time, 2020 is the breakout year for Catch the Craze. 2020 is the breakout year for some licensing on our intellectual properties. I think 2020 is the year where we get it right? And you're going to say my name, right? So George gets embarrassed.
It's funny how your mind works. Like, do you explain this to me? So how does this work? So you get a word in your head, and then your other side of the brain just relates it to like a song, and
it's
then
just like
bam,
boom, shake the room, tick, 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 boom,
like
yes.
that. Okay.
I did that. Nice.
And it could be hip hop, it could be show tunes, it could be anything.
Wow.
Hey,
A little.
are we getting a call?
Yes, I think we're getting a call. So give us a second, because we're not supposed to be getting a call right now. Guest. So we have Charlie Dixon on the radio. Charles, how you doing? Hello?
We getting crack called? What's going on here?
Charles, you there? Hello?
Charles.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you're a little early.
Is that good or bad?
It was a little, but we were in the middle of, our little soiree, but that's all right. That's all right. We've never had that before. We've never had someone so eager to get on the show that they just jumped in.
Charles a trailblazer. That's what it is, right, Charles?
It's like double Dutch.
I'm excited, man.
He's like, let me in. It's like we're swinging the ropes.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. This is like a family reunion right now.
I know.
There you go, right?
It's funny because we started the show off talking about how we met you. Do you remember where we first met?
Yeah, man. It was at the one of those comic book shows. I wasn't sure if it was the one at the Javits Center or the one at the Pavilion.
It was the Javits Center.
Yeah.
The Javits Center. Okay.
Yeah.
My first show was actually at the Pavilion, but the Javits Center.
So we were talking about it. Was it when we interviewed you?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, it was.
Yeah. See.
Wow.
See. Look at that.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
Throwback.
There you go. There you go.
That's
So that's what it was. I remember the after party. The New York Comic Con after party. That's what I remember because it was packed. That place was packed.
The indie after party.
Yeah. It was
I do.
packed.
Yeah. You guys did some good parties, man.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
That was a time.
Nice. That was nice. And the thing is too, I definitely want to say this for the audience. We did New York Comic Con when New York Comic Con was New York Comic Con.
Yes.
Not this commercialized stuff that's going on now. We helped build that darn thing. We were there from the very, very beginning.
The very first one, dude. We were there at the very first one, man.
Very first one.
When the fire marshals had to come in because they didn't realize how big it was actually going to be.
You remember that?
Yeah. They had fire marshals come in because they didn't realize they were that big. And they were like, holy cow, we don't have enough room for all these people. Yeah, it was that far back.
That's crazy. I remember that.
Man,
wow.
Yeah, you had internal fury going on.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Holy cow.
And the thing is with that show, what was funny was like when I had told people that I was going to do the comic book show at the Javits Center at New York Comic Con, you mean to tell me that not that many people are going to show up? I'm like, dude, are you crazy? I was like, do you understand how many people are into comic books and stuff?
Right, yeah.
They wouldn't listen.
No,
and they found out.
But you know what? I feel like even the organizers didn't realize how big the fan base for comics was in New York when they first did that show.
Yeah, I don't think they realized.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready. Yeah, they weren't ready for it. It was crazy, bro. But you're right. It was a different show back then. It was a very different
much
show.
different.
Yeah.
I think it was more based on the culture of comics. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The artists, the stories. It was a little more involved. Now it seems like, and I hate to say it, it seems like it's just more of a thing. Hey, I'm going to get a ticket and go because that's the end thing to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now it's cool. Yeah. Now it's cool to go. Yeah. That's right. It's a cool thing to hit up the comic book convention.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. That's what we're about. We live it. We breathe it. We create it. This is what we do. That's our culture. And
that's true.
That's why I think we take it a little more personal than what, other people.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go from everybody want kung fu fighting to today we're going to make a healthy drink?
You're talking about my whole diet change, my whole.
Yeah, I was watching some of your Instagram clips, and you're making some shakes and this, and
You know what's funny? This is actually, and this is true, man. So everyone listen up on this is actually all tied into internal fury. Let me turn my ceiling fan off so we can. I don't want any background noise coming in here. So, okay, so what had happened was I was going through some health issues as far as, because I was always working out, and it just seemed like everything just hit the fan at one time. Just wasn't feeling good. And I had actually hurt my back really bad. So the option was either get surgery on my back, and the doctor that I was going to, were two doctors, Dr. Goodman, he actually fixed my back naturally. Okay. And then, actually it was three, I'm sorry. Dr. Goodman, Dr. Marcus, but the last one, we're still friends to this day, was Dr. Sarek. And I went in. I told her what I was eating, and the first thing she had told me was, "Look, you got to cut out the dairy and stop eating all that damn meat, and your back will heal up." And she fixed my back, and my back healed up, and it never, I never heard it again. It didn't. So
Wow.
from there, I learned that what you eat is what you're going to become. So I felt for my body to get stronger and things like that, I would go all plant based, and I did it cold turkey. I did it overnight. I didn't, just was bam, no more, no more meat, no more dairy. So it's just straight, all plant-based stuff that I eat. And I've been doing that for almost 6 years now.
Damn.
And Dr. Sawyer, she saved my life because I was in a pretty bad place. Yeah. And
it's crazy because when you work out, right, and Sam, you work out all the time, you're always taught to eat, your meat, potatoes, and and that's gonna make you big and strong. But I've heard there's been quite a change with that, and now more people are going plant based.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely see the difference with me anyway. As far as like when people find out my age, they're like, "What? Are you really?" Yeah.
Right.
It's like, no way. Yeah, way. You can still, I can still do that. You can still, can still flip, fight, do all that type of stuff, skate, run, do flips and all that type. I can still do all that stuff. Wow. I just think that I always tell people do the research. I don't set out to preach to people. Mm-hmm. I just say find out what works for you and do whatever works for you. And going plant-based totally worked for me. Like I said, I'm 6 years strong. My wife is actually plant-based. She's 5 years in.
Wow. And
she looks phenomenal,
right?
And feels great.
Well, it's interesting.
It definitely works for us.
It's interesting that you say that because one thing that put things into perspective for me with regards to plant-based diets, because something I've been looking into, is that when you think about horses that graze, they're so muscular and strong and athletic, fast, and whatever, and it's all from plants.
Look at the gorilla, same thing.
Yes, we're taught that you need to have beef and you need to have meat, and that's not the case. You know what I mean? I just think it's we have to train ourselves to consume that which was provided for us naturally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People say, "Well, we can eat it." No, you can eat plastic too. It doesn't mean it's good for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just think there's a lot of things that we just have to unlearn that we were taught. Because I thought the same thing. You need beef. You need, especially when I was lifting, you need 1.5 grams of protein per body pound or 1 gram of protein per pound body. And it's just like, no, you don't need. You don't. And like I said, if you even a movie, I think there's a documentary, on Netflix called The Game Changers.
Right.
That was it's stirring up a big controversy, but it's true. How do I know it's true? Because I'm living it right now. Right. You know what I mean? What the Health was another one.
Yeah, and Oprah did a whole segment on Super Soul Sunday with about plant-based diets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely works. Like I said, I can vouch for that. And I think the only regret that I have is that I didn't do it sooner. Right. I wish I would have actually went sooner so I can reap the benefits. But I notice even when I'm writing, even with creating, my mind is like, I always see my mind is like a pinball machine. It just goes off. I don't get that. I don't have that brain fog when I go to think of stuff. Everything comes very quickly now. My mind, it seems like it just, I feel like Neo in the Matrix,
Right. That's amazing. You know what amazes me is how you just quick cold turkey. It wasn't even like you were just like, all right, I'm gonna not eat meat today, and then start like you just said, okay, I'm gonna stop eating meat and then go.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I tell people don't do what I did, because I got really sick, and I'll be completely honest. Because a lot of times you'll hear people say, "Oh, we'll go plant-based, and it's everything's, roses, rainbows, and unicorns." No, I would say about 6 weeks in, I got really sick. Wow. When I say sick, it was like my body was detoxing.
Yeah.
It was like, what was that dude? Not Chris Tucker. What's his name? Chris Rock out of New Jack City. You know what I mean?
You were going through withdrawals, right?
Yeah, dude. I got really, really sick at one point. But it was just my body just getting all those toxins out. And then once I got past that point, because I went from 100 my goal at one point was I wanted to get to 200, like about 15 pounds, 220, 215.
Yeah.
And I got up to about 199, just I would say 200 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like trash. I felt like
Really?
a turtle. And I was eating everything, you know. And I was doing the organic chicken. I was having the grass-fed beef and the healthy fats and all that type of stuff they were saying. And I felt slow as a turtle. I felt really, really bad. And I went plant-based, and I ended up getting down to 185, 183. And then when I went plant-based, I dropped from 183 pounds down to 159 pounds in about 4 weeks.
Shoot.
The thing is, I was strong. I was just as strong as I was before, and my body was just shredded. I was shredded, shredded. Like right now,
you had no body fat at that point.
I had no body fat.
Right.
I had no body fat. And but like everything stabilized, and I like I said, I feel great, man. Like I always tell people, do the research. Don't take anyone's word for anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Always research the information for yourself and find out
Yeah.
what works for yourself. But we tied all that into the whole internal fury.
Right.
You know, passion burning within to succeed, and that's and we taking the whole diet, the whole spiritual side, everything, and we're just combining it. And I can't sit there and write about something and not live it.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing that Dee and I, when we reformulated Vexed Comics, we said that we are going to take what people in the I guess you would say in comic books, we want to take and we want to live this stuff for real.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do it for real. You know what I mean? And to a certain extent, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of things that I write about and with the diet, and not even diet. I mean, diet is what you go on, you know, but is a lifestyle. That's what we're on now.
Right.
And I try to incorporate all that stuff into what I'm creating now. So
that's amazing, man. Charles, I'm just gonna go back to the beginning for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you're from
A
Pittsburgh.
small town called Bridgeville. It's about 15 miles south Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you went to an art school out there? Like, how did you get into as far as the writing goes?
I actually went to a public school, and when I was in elementary school, I liked to just write stories, you know. And I don't think anybody, like mom, didn't know. No one in my family knew, but I like to keep my stuff hidden, so I just write these little stories.
Were you a shy kid, or were you?
I don't say I was shy. I'm pretty much the same way I am now, but I kept to myself. It's like, it's funny. I'm glad you asked it, because I was just explaining that to somebody else. I have a lot of acquaintances, but not many friends, if that makes sense. I keep my circles very small.
That makes a lot of sense, bro. Trust me. Yeah, I agree.
I've been that way all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just kind of keep to myself. It was funny, like as I got older, it was like people, yeah, Charlie, you gonna go? Yeah, I'm gonna go, and I would just pop up. You know, I mean, yeah. A lot of times I would roll. I had to select a few people that I did roll with, but a lot of times I was normally by myself.
Yeah. See, I agree with you in that way. I always say this: I'd rather go into a room and shake hands with 4 or 5 guys who I know that if the lights turned off and they turned back on and we were in some kind of trouble, they'd fight with me, right? Then go in there and touch hands with everybody, know everybody in the room, the lights go off, I'm in trouble and nobody helps. Like,
exactly.
That's how close I like to keep it.
Yeah.
For sure. So you were writing stories, nobody knew about them. When did you finally decide, you know what, I want to share some of these stories with people?
Okay, so we're going to leap forward. I was actually in college. I was going to community college, and I was actually studying in the medical field. I wanted to be a physical therapist, but I always had that love of writing. I remember my mom said, well, she was like, writers don't make much money. That's what my mom would say. So you need something to fall back on. So I wanted to be a physical therapist, so I did that whole thing. And I was taking writing classes, taking a bunch of different writing classes, creative writing and things like that. And we had a free write in one of my creative classes. I think the professor's name was Dan Lowe. I believe that was his name. And we had about a 45-minute write. And I just came up with something off the cuff. Boom, just write. Boom, boom. And when he gave me the paperback, he was like, "Well, Charles is really creative." He's like, "You thought of it?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "In that short amount of time?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, well, you should do something with it." And that's all I needed to hear. And then that's when the comic book, that's when Vexed Comics was born. I just started writing down anything and everything that came to me. I would write on paper bags, napkins. I would buy these big sketch pads, man. You're supposed to be drawing sketches in them. I was writing them, you know. And that's how I came up. I mean, I wrote for years like that. Like even today, a lot of stuff I have written already. I'm just editing. I call it the Vexed Vault. I have characters, stories, everything that's all logged in. And the only thing I have to do is go snatch what I want and just edit it. You know what I mean? So
how do you format your scripts? Do you write outlines and just dialogue, or do you actually go in there and write like panel 1, this is happening, and then this is what's being said?
Well, the great thing is I'll go back with like Internal Fury. Internal Fury is actually written as a movie script. Okay. And I don't think a lot of people know, well, we'll find they'll learn today. I'm a trained actor too. I would, a lot of people don't know that. So I did scene study and all that type of stuff. So I normally write stuff in script form.
Wait, hold on a second, Charles. So hold on. I think we fast forwarded too far. So wait, so you went from a kid who liked to write, nobody knew about it, to going to school and wanted to be a physical therapist. When did you become a trained actor? After college or before, or did you miss something in between?
What happened was I had left community college and I went to this other school. It was Western School of Health.
Okay.
Right. My mom co-owned a talent agency, and I want to say a legit talent agency. Okay. This is how I learned basically what goes on behind. I learned what goes on when it goes to auditioning and things like that. And the great thing about my mom's company, it was a legitimate company, meaning that very, very quickly. And like if she would get 200 photos for the day, my mom would take a look at all 200 photos and put them into different piles.
Wow. And
not into the circular file, meaning that she would look at someone's picture and be like, this is a good runway model.
Right.
This would be good for, print model. Yeah. This would be good for acting. And she just went down the line and she put everything into classification and she would contact everybody. So what had happened was they were doing a show in Pittsburgh and they needed some male models. And she asked me to audition. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Because what's going to end up happening is people going to see me that I'm just your son. And they think that stuff was just handed to me. Right. She's like, no, it's not going to be like that. Just basically help me out and do this. So I did the show. And then she did the show again the following year. And long story short, I did find out that she was my mother because I was acting like I normally do. And she called me. I got yelled at during one of the rehearsals. And said,
you got son.
She yelled. She did, dude. She was like, son. She was like, she's your mother? And I was like, yeah, man. What? No one ever knew. No one ever put to it. It was just hilarious how it happened. But people were cool about it. You know what I mean? I pretty much earned my stripes. So I did that. And I really didn't want to do the whole medical thing. It was more so maybe doing, I guess, what people were telling me to do in a sense.
Right.
And then when I kind of learned what was going on with that whole thing, I didn't want to be around that type of work. So before I did the show, I had an agent that wanted me. I had a few agents that wanted me actually, doing that whole runway model thing. Right. And I chose the agency in New York City. I'm not gonna say any names. And I moved to New York. And the funny thing is, I only had maybe 3 months until I graduated out of Western School of Health. But I didn't want to do that, so I just left.
Right.
And I moved to New York. And when I moved to New York, I was doing auditioning. I was told to, start taking acting classes and things like that, and that's what I did. So I learned the whole acting thing, and that goes under my belt as well. So I did that for a while, but I still had the itch to do comic books.
Right.
It never left. So when I moved to New York City, I came to New York City in '95. I I went to Wiesbaden for, I believe it was like 3 years. And then I left there. I did the whole, extra work. I'm a trained theater actor.
Right.
I did that. I did improv for like 7 years. I did theater for, I think, about the same, a little bit less. I think I did theater for about 4 or 5 years around in there.
Right.
But I prefer the writing aspect of it. So at that whole time when I was doing the acting, I still was honing my skills as, doing the comic book writing, still trying to get everything together with that.
And you were writing it, and so you started writing Internal Fury as a screenplay because you were always thinking this is going to be a movie.
This is the thing. I didn't know when I wrote it as a script. I was like, dude, I was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was young.
Yeah.
I was young. And I was very young. And that was the cool thing. I didn't know how to really do anything. I mean, you can't go to school to learn how to do comic books.
Yeah.
When you really think about it. No one's going to teach you how to do a comic book. I mean, you can learn the art side and the writing, but it's not like back then there was an actual class. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to make a comic book. There was nothing like that.
Right.
So I did what I knew. I would just write everything, and I would just over detail everything. You know what I mean? Instead of just doing like a short story, I would just write it in script form. I always thought it was just easier to write that way.
Yeah. So you would, me too. I agree. I think that's why I like plays so much. I like reading plays because I like reading dialogue. I just, I prefer that than reading like a prose, just describing what's happening. I'd rather hear the characters speak when they're telling the story.
It adds more feeling to it, I believe.
Right. And then you become the characters. You can play around and stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yes, I totally get you. I get you 100%. What's Internal Fury about?
Internal Fury. Okay, first we'll go with the name. Okay. Internal Fury. It's like you guys remember the books, like the first one when it has a dude on the front just looking mean, right? Everyone was, oh man, it's mean, it's anger. It has nothing to do with that. All Internal Fury means is the passion burning within someone to succeed. That's it. Now, whether you want to do good or bad, it's entirely up to you. You understand what I mean? It's a personal choice on how you want to use your internal fury, and that's how you have. I would say I was trying to create that whole balance with that, the yin and the yang, the good and the light, that whole type of thing, the dark side, the light side. So I came up with Internal Fury. It's just about passion burning things to succeed and trying to stay within that balance of how you're going to use it.
Right. And then it didn't evolve. You wrote a story around that concept, in other words.
Well, it wasn't even a story. It was a whole universe. That's one thing that I learned in the comic book industry, and I think you guys can attest to this, is that I don't want to say it's easy to do a book because it's not easy what we do. Yeah. Some people they'll come, oh man, no, it's not easy at all.
Right.
To take an actual idea in your head, get it down on paper as a rough draft, word it, and then take it into the lab. That's what I say we do. We take it into our lab, and you come out with a full-fledged book.
Right.
That's not an easy thing to do. It's very difficult. And sometimes I don't think people understand how difficult it is. You guys do because you do it. It's not easy. So it's a process. You know what I mean? It's a definite process. And I think I don't know, man. It's just, you really have to love what you do in order to get that whole, I think I just got a little bit sidetracked, in order to take and put all that stuff together. Right. And when people come in, you'll see them, they'll do one book, but you never hear from them again.
Right. And I think that was
how many people have we seen?
That was the knock on the independents, right? Yeah, I'll buy your first book, but will there be a second? Or where can I get your second book if there is a second book? And I think that was the stigma, that we came with. Yep.
That was the biggest thing that I saw think about from when the time we started, who's really left?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with Vexed, what was cool, it wasn't. A shortage of material was not the issue for me.
Yeah.
I actually had to take the Internal Fury story and probably cut that thing in half. It was huge.
Yeah.
But what I did, I overwrote, I overcreated. I wanted to make a universe, just like Marvel has the MCU
Yeah.
and DC has their universe. Vexed Comics has their own universe. It functions on its own. And when people ask me, no, it's not just a book; it's a whole massive universe. And I definitely think when the next side of the story comes out, people will see how massive it really is.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think people are like, well, you disappeared. No, I didn't disappear. I took and I learned the industry. For me, it was easy creating stuff. The hard part is trying to make a living off of it. The hard part is trying to market it. You understand?
Yes,
You can have a lot of great stuff, but if you can't market it and get it out to the people,
Right.
and it's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the
Oh,
scenes
absolutely.
that people
Yep.
don't get to see, the whole legal side and all this other stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's a ton of work.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a ton of work. It's like I said, people sometimes don't understand that part of it.
Nah, it's true, man. And you know what? You, before, you quote unquote disappeared, you had about 6 issues of Internal Fury, right? That you
Actually, no, I did 8. I
you
did 8 on Internal Fury.
Yes.
I did 8 books, 1 graphic novel.
Right.
And I cut it short. But you have to get to that point where, as a creator, it's like enough is enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to keep stretching. I could have, but there's still things that I wanted to say.
Right.
But where I was trying to, not even trying, like I said, I always saw Internal Fury as a movie. It was written as a movie script. I didn't want it to move like a comic book. And a lot of times when I would sell the books, when people come out and speak to me, that's what they would always say, man, it doesn't move like a comic book, it moves like a movie.
Yeah.
That's good. I was like, yes, that's what I wanted. That's what I
Right.
wanted. So that's my ultimate goal, is to get this into a movie or a mini series.
Yeah.
But I always said that the movie would actually be better than the books.
Right.
And a lot of times it's usually the books are better than the movies. But I said that this was always written as a movie, so the movie would actually be better
Right.
than what the books would be. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I know a few months back, I saw it on your Instagram that you were kind of dabbling in some filming. Can you
We
talk about
finished
that?
it.
Oh, you did?
Yes, yeah. We finished it. It's done. I have the actual finished product, and I want to thank AJ Media. We teamed up together and we knocked this thing out. So hopefully by the beginning of the year, the new year, I can put this out. Again, I've been sitting on it for a little bit because, again, I wanted to handle some legal things that we had to get taken care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, what we did was I shot how many minutes is this thing? I can't remember how many minutes it is, but it's like a movie short, like a short little film,
Okay.
dealing with the first issue of Internal Fury.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can take and shop that around to different outlets like Netflix or Hulu and see if they'd be willing to.
The streaming services, man. That's where
HBO.
it's at.
HBO goes another one, just
Mhm.
to see if they'd be willing to take in
Amazon Prime. I mean, you name it,
yeah.
Amazon Video, whatever you name it, it's out there. Even Apple now has their own streaming service. So you did finish it, yeah? Because I remember when,
finished
on Instagram, you'd post, the clip, not clips, but just behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to see this. So you're saying by the beginning of the year, possibly. Well, it will be out?
I'll have it after the new year. Within January, I have it up on the Vex site, and probably we'll have to see what are they doing YouTube. I don't know what to do on YouTube, but it'll definitely be on my website, and then it'll be on the Vex Entertainment page on YouTube. But you can check vexcomics.com at the beginning of the year. I'll definitely have that up. But I'm happy with how it came together, because it was just like. It was phenomenal, because I ended up working with some of the artists that actually worked on the books, which was cool. I actually worked with some of my old acting friends, in a theater company that I was in. So we all just it was nice. We all pulled together, and we made it happen. And I was proud of what we did, because it was.
So Charles, because it's an independent film, right? So Is this something? How do you put something like that together? I mean, other than besides the money, I'm not even talking about how you put the funds together, but how does something like this come together? You wrote the script, obviously, right? And like
Yeah,
you said, just your buddies, and like who directed it? Did you direct it or?
I kind of did. I wore a lot of hats,
Mhm.
you know. Uh, well, I pulled some of the stuff out of the book,
Right.
but I was like, it wasn't enough. So what I did, I actually wrote in some new characters, and I just used the first issue as a base to kind of bring everyone up to date. Because to sit there and try to use the whole first issue would have been way, way, way too much. So I wrote a script based off the first issue
Right.
and put some new characters in there, some new fresh faces, and wrote the script and start seeking out some locations.
Yeah.
I made some calls to see who I can get to act in it, and definitely AJ Media. He said he would love to shoot it.
Right.
And Michael, you guys know Michael, the Sev Network.
No.
He
I don't
helped
think
out. Yeah, he helped out. You guys know because he goes to all the comic book shows.
Oh, really?
He
Okay.
goes. Yeah. You guys would definitely know.
Okay.
But I've worked with him on various projects. He stepped in and he helped shoot some of the stuff, and it was a total group effort.
That's
And
amazing, man. Congratulations. I'm so happy that you got that
cool.
done. I can't wait to see it,
Yeah,
man.
listen.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
I'm gonna let you guys be the judge. I like it, but it's just like not because I did it. I think
Yeah.
now that I look back on it, I look, okay, we could have did this,
Okay.
but for what we had to work with,
Yeah.
I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like something that would appear on Netflix or Hulu or
Right.
Amazon
Yeah.
Prime or HBO Go or one of these other streamers. It looks like something, and we did it on a shoestring budget. When I say
That's
shoestring,
amazing.
like, yeah, dude, it was. I got time to tell this. Can I tell true? This is a true story.
Yeah.
So-
Go for it.
We needed this is funny, and this is hilarious. So at least I think it is anyway. So we needed some weapons
Right.
for the shoot, right? So I was like, man, there's no way I can go and just buy this stuff. I'm gonna have to make it. So I did some research. I figured out how they make weapons for the movies.
Oh.
So I ordered I ordered this shotgun, toy shotgun. Everything was all toys.
Right.
So I went on, I ordered like a shotgun. I ordered this pistol, and if you look at the stuff when it first came to me, it just looked like, like the pistol was like orange and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like baby blue and all this stuff.
Baby.
And I went into my buddy's shop, man, and I just doctored all this stuff up. And so I get it, and I had to take it to the set. I had to get it down to the set.
Right.
And I'm in New York City, dude. And I was sweating bullets, man. I had a tactical shotty.
Oh,
It was right.
my-
I had a 2 9mm. I had a oh my goodness, what else? I had something that looked like a Glock. I had a Desert Eagle, but the stuff looked real. When I say
How
it
are you
looked
carrying
real,
this? How are you carrying this?
dude, I
around?
had one. The funny part was I didn't even think about it. I had this long box with a shotgun in it. It looked like something like like you would see out of a movie. But I had it wrapped in red plastic. I had movie props written on it, and I'm sweating bullets. I had grenades in the bag, but it was all fake stuff. And I'm like, dude, if they just want to check me, I'm
Right.
just diving on the ground,
You're
man.
done.
I'm not.
You're getting shot. You're getting
Oh
killed
my
for this.
goodness.
That is
So I
funny.
get it down to the set. They're like, "How, dude? You walk this stuff. How am I gonna get in here, man?" Yeah. So
that's
for the
great.
record books, dude.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's
man. I was
amazing.
like, oh my goodness. But this stuff, when you see it on film, it was even like the director, Jackson from AJ, he looked at it. He was like, I don't be cussing on the air, and he was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Man, this mother effer look real, man." I'm like, he's like, "It looks real." I'm like,
that's
yeah.
great.
But it was
You got to do it on the
good
budget,
stuff.
though. You got to do it on the
oh,
budget.
dude.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys when we meet face to face.
Yeah.
It was when I say a shoestring budget, it was a shoestring budget, dude. It was cool how it came together, man. It was just all raw talent, man. And like I
That's
said, I was
amazing.
proud of what everybody did, man.
Right.
It's good stuff.
Are you planning to do almost like a screening of it somewhere, or
We-
how are you planning on releasing it?
Well, what I did a small screening of it, but that was just for the people that actually worked on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't take in. I had a couple family members come up, but it wasn't like a wide release of it. So maybe I might do another release of it.
Yeah.
You know, rent out a little spot, maybe get you guys to come down and check it out or
For
something
sure.
like that.
Yeah, definitely. Let us
And
know
then,
when. We'll be there.
Maybe when I get the next installment, the next story done, if I can do everything on one shot.
That's awesome, brother. And are your books still available on your website? Everything's available on your website?
Everything's available on the website. Just vexedcomics.com. We still have the store up and running, and everything is still there, man. Everything is there.
Yeah, that logo's hot, man. Who did that logo for you? The
that was actually done by Jason Ross.
Yeah,
Jason
that's
Ross.
cool,
yeah,
brother.
my cousin Jay.
You got hats and T-shirts.
And yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been a long haul for us. The first book, you guys know, it came out in 2003.
Yeah, I have it.
We were doing like one book about every year and a half. Again, we still had full-time jobs and things like that. It wasn't like we were doing it full time.
Right.
But I'm happy where everything went. You know, people are like, man, you've been doing this a long time. Dude, it takes time.
It does.
And success will come when you're ready, not when you want it. And you have to be willing to stay in it to make it. I mean, if you look at most of these actors and musicians, they didn't make it overnight.
Right.
Some of these people were on, 15 years, 20 years in the making. It's not, this type of stuff doesn't happen overnight. You have to be willing to stick with it. And I definitely believe that our time is definitely going to come. I mean, pretty much everything else that we shot for at Vex, we got it, you know. We got with Diamond, that was the thing. But I found out that, I found out what happened with that. So they're the biggest comic book distributor.
Oh yeah.
And it was great because our books went international. Books were being sold over in the UK, all throughout the UK, through Japan, throughout Africa. To this day, I don't know where those things are being sold now. I don't. You can do a Google search and they'll pop up all over the place. But at one point in time, before we actually had put our own store up there, they were being sold all over the place.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, did you see any of that residual income that was coming in for these things or no?
Well, the thing is, see, that's the thing where I learned about business.
Right.
And this is something that, for the listeners, know your contracts, know what you're signing, and don't be quick to sign anything. When you're going into certain contracts, a lot of times, man, the house always wins. Right. And I think being in the position that we were, and even you guys, we're eager to get our stuff out.
Yep.
So it's like sometimes you'll take a loss in order to get a gain. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And
it's a lot of times that stuff is not for us. That's where I was like, from now on, I'm just going to take and put my stuff up on my own site and sell it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's better me personally, I think it's better that way until you get big enough to where you can get a contract that's going to be beneficial for both parties and not just beneficial for one.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense of what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you.
You know?
Is that, and then, if you can't answer this, don't worry about it. Is that the reason why you kind of went, not away, but you stopped working on it for a while? Or was there some contractual issues that didn't allow you to put more books out, or was it something that you did on your own? Said, no, you know what, I'm going to take a little break.
No. That had nothing to do with contracts or anything. Okay. I mean, if you're going to create, you create. Yeah. Create anything. My biggest thing is when you're creating certain things. I always believe in the story that we had, right?
Right.
That we have, Internal Fury. But I didn't want to create a bunch of other stuff and just have this sitting there. Now, I was actually talking to some business people, and they were like, "Well, you should have kept creating other things, and maybe if they didn't like Internal Fury, they might like something else that you have."
Right.
That's cool to look at it that way. But if I wouldn't have went down the road that I did, I would not have learned all the stuff that I've learned today. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
From the time that I got in back in 2003 and the stuff that I know now,
right?
I wouldn't trade that for the world. I wasn't ready.
Yep.
I wasn't ready.
Yep.
I'm ready now.
Right.
You understand? I'm ready. I know the business. I'm not going to be taken for a ride.
Right.
As far as creatively, I can, and this is important. I definitely want to say this to people.
Yeah.
So, and you guys can use this as well. I think this will help you guys. We're good at what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Period, point blank. I would take and put my writing skill up against anyone in Hollywood, and I would. I could sit down right now. You can give me any main director, writer, producer, and they say if they need an action scene, a drama scene, I can sit down and write you something in an hour.
Right.
I'll put my skill up against anybody, and it's not being conceited. It's being confident in what I do.
Right.
Now, if you're going to work with people, say if you're going to work with another artist, right, George or Sam, you guys want to work with some other people, and you ask them, well, are you guys good? And they're like, well, you know, or do you want to work with them, or you want to work with somebody like, no, dude, I got this. I know what I can do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
You want somebody that's confident in their work.
Right.
And that's something that I had to take and sort of grab a hold of and run with that. It's like, no, you have to have confidence in what you do.
Absolutely.
So my biggest thing was, it wasn't so much just keep producing. I wanted to learn how could I take and I market this? How could I take, and I had to learn, because I wasn't a marketing specialist.
Right.
I don't care how good anybody's work is. If you can't market it, it's just going to sit on the shelf.
You have to be a businessman. On top of being a creative, you also have to be a businessman.
You have to learn the business.
Yeah.
So at the same time of making, I don't even want to say mistakes, but learning all these lessons, I was learning the business. Not just the business of comic books, but the business world. You know what I mean? Learning what works and what doesn't. I'm not saying that I'm not going to learn some new lessons, but it's like it's a process. It's a process. So I definitely will pick up the pace when I have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think the time that was taken was time that was needed in order to get myself together as well. Not even just Vexed Comics, but to get myself together, you know, mentally, physically, and spiritually, that whole thing, and then the business as well.
Right.
So you need everything as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, think about all the times you see on TV where you get these stars, whether it's in sports, it's in entertainment, they're making all this money, they get to the top, and all of a sudden what happens? They just fall apart.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, dude. It's
so,
funny because we've been talking about all that stuff with Sam.
Yeah. So it's not, you have to be ready on all sides. You know, there's no sense in having your front fortified and then someone can just sneak in from the back and take you out. It doesn't make any sense.
So do you think that the reason why people go broke sometimes is because they're not ready for the success?
I think most people aren't ready for success.
Okay.
If you look at the most successful, and see, success is different in the eyes of, you know, say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Success is the same thing. It depends on what level you want to take it to. But it's like, if you look at a lot of businessmen, I would say the top-notch businessmen, if you would look at them, you would never know what they have.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
You can't tell. If you saw Bill Gates in the street, you wouldn't know he was rich.
You would never know. You would never know.
Yeah.
It's not like he's the flashy type of person.
Yeah.
That whole type of thing. And you get some of these people, once they get a little taste of it, I got to go buy a Bugatti. I got to go buy the big 30-room mansion. And and you know, 10 years down the road, man, you're just flat broke.
Right. Yep.
You're just flat broke. So you have to learn how to gauge everything in a sense. And I think with the again, with this whole internal fury, and I keep saying it has gotten me to a point in my life where I'm looking at things through a different set of eyes than when I was 18.
Right.
You know what I mean? I look at things completely different. What's important?
That's right.
You know, one thing that I always said was, with this company, I want to treat people well. I don't want a big, huge company. I would like to keep a smaller company that does big company numbers, if I make big business numbers.
Right.
I would like to take the people that were loyal to me all these years and we go paint the town red, but we do it with common sense.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I would like to be able to do things with you guys. We've known each other for how many years? We've been in the
Years.
trenches digging for how many years?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Think about it.
Yep.
So that's what I want to be able to do. It's like, hey, Sam, George, we're doing this flick, man. You guys want to get in? Whatever.
Right.
Find out how get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
What do you guys have? You still working with Wonder Duck? You guys still doing this?
Yeah.
All right, man. Look, we're going to get this into production. I got some people.
Right.
Look, you understand?
Yeah.
It's not with me. It's not You guys aren't competition.
Right.
You understand? And I
Absolutely.
think that's another thing where people
Absolutely.
they're afraid. Oh, God, no, you guys aren't competition, man.
Yep.
You guys are my brothers.
That's
You
right.
are my comic book brothers. So it's like that's the way that I look at where I want to be and what I want to do. I want to be able to expand, but you want to be able to expand with people.
Right.
What's it going to be if I take and I get all this stuff, but I can't do anything to help anyone else
Right.
or do something decent for other people? So again, this whole, like I said, the whole Internal Fury is just it's a lifestyle
Right.
that I'm trying to live every day. But it's the title of a story, but I believe it's something that I'm I'm incorporating into realism.
Yeah, no, that's dude, that's the way to do it. I mean, you're right. What's the point? And there are a lot of people. You're right. Look at it as, oh, that's my competition. I'm not telling them where I printed this, or I'm not telling them how I did that, or like, it's almost like it's a big secret, dude. If I wanted to find out, I'd just go online and look for it.
Exactly.
It's not a big deal. It's not like it's some top secret that I'll never find out if you don't tell me. It's
telling
ridiculous.
you, it's nuts. It's nuts. Even when we would do the shows, I don't care who came up to me, I would answer the question to the best of my ability. If
Right.
I didn't have the answer, I would tell them straight, I don't know this,
Right.
but maybe, you can research and find out. But I would never act like I was above anybody because God knows I don't know anything. I mean, I'm still the type of person where I'll write stuff on a notebook and pencil before I even put anything into a computer,
Right.
Yeah. But with, if people would come up and show us art, whether it was a portfolio, whether it was, drawings, just in, any of that stuff, we would take and we would look at everything, and I would give people my honest opinion on everything,
That's
and
right.
that's just how Vexed roll. We respect everybody, man.
That's what's
We
up.
respect everybody
Charles,
in the
man,
industry as a whole.
it's been a pleasure having you on the show, brother. You are amazing, man. I can't wait to see this movie.
Dude, it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
gonna
wait.
happen soon. We'll
can't
make
wait.
it. We'll make it happen.
Dude,
I definitely want to say I definitely got new stuff coming very, very soon.
there you go.
I'm looking forward to where this thing is gonna go. I'm coming out swinging. I got to knock a few people's heads off with the next story. I do, man.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait till that comes out. I know we had a little conversation prior, but I know what you're talking about. So we'll definitely, I'll be looking out for that.
Awesome, man.
Thanks,
Guys,
Charles. Thanks so much. And tell your wife I said hello, and we said hello, and we'll see you soon, brother.
Absolutely.
All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. We're going to team up and do something, guys. We got to team up. We got to do something.
Yeah, some collaboration, man.
Yeah, we got to collab on something.
All
We
right,
got to collab on something. We've known each other far too long to be, Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It feels good to be back.
Dude, hey, wait, I got one more thing to say. Sam,
Yes.
didn't I tell you would be back? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? No, one time. I'm like, no, you're not.
Yes.
I'm glad you're back. I did. It was funny. I told D that. I was like, he's back. I said, yeah, I was excited, man. I was excited. I was like, you're too talented, man. This is what you're meant for, man. This is what you're meant to do, man.
Thank you, man. It means a lot.
Yeah. This is your realm, man. This is your realm. So stay in it.
I will.
If you do it again, ex-con's coming to get you.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Charles,
right,
man,
love
much
you guys.
love, brother. Love you too,
All right,
man.
peace
Talk
out.
to you soon.
Peace out.
All right,
Yep.
brother. Later.
Later.
Now that's one.
we're back. I like this hook. You got a book you want to tell us about? Well, let's talk. You know the place to do it.
Great.
Only
Yo, we are back. So I got to figure out why the audio in that commercial is not playing.
That's a cool commercial there, bud.
Thank you. It was supposed to be seamless, but as you know, this is the first year of back in the game, so still working out the technical issues.
It's all you're just experimenting right now.
Yes,
It's all good.
experimenting. That
all
was
good.
a really fascinating interview.
Dude, Charles is a really good dude, man.
Yes.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's full of positivity. You ready to go? You ready to go vegan?
Well, I've been researching, so I've been slowly. You saw my shake.
Yeah. That's what
So
that was,
slowly working my body. So 'cause what he did was he shocked the system.
Cold turkey, bro.
I'm not willing to shock my system, so I've been doing little by little, getting rid of.
But there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, there's a lot being said about plant-based
Yes.
diets.
Yes.
They make you, and it's kind of interesting that you said about the horse, because you're right. It's not like they're eating other, horses. You know what I mean?
They're eating
That's amazing.
grass,
Yeah. I don't know if I can
and
eat
they're
grass.
diesel,
Yeah, dude.
buffalo.
Right?
Right?
Said buffalo.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you look at them; they're diesel.
Buffalo.
They-
Well, he said gorillas
They're
too.
monsters.
The gorilla grab you in the
Yes.
like kill you, bro.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting that Charles is doing. He just sent me a text message saying thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, no, Charles is great. I can't wait to see what he's got going on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
but notice how he touched on some of the subjects
Yo,
we've been talking about.
It's listen, I was talking to him prior to the show, and we were touching on some stuff that we're going to be talking about on the live show. Well, that we would have talked about on the live show. But yeah, it was like right on everything he was talking about, even right now when he was saying about how people go broke. You were just having that conversation.
Yes.
It's funny. It's funny.
It's
that he was
crazy. See, it's
touching about-
timing, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, no, it's not like
No.
he told him. He
No.
just brought it
The
up.
universe.
He just brought it up.
The universe.
Yeah, man, I can't. I'm telling you, he was a good guest on the show.
Yes, and we were talking about, it's funny how the segue when we started talking.
Yeah,
We're talking about you ready for growth, right?
right.
Yeah.
And he talked about that too.
Yes.
How he's ready for growth now.
Yes.
He wasn't ready for it then in 2003 when he started. He wasn't
Right.
ready. Now he's ready for it. Now he's doing everything he's got to do because it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
You're learning. It's almost like this right now, right? You said like this is the first year. By next year, this is going to be seamless, where you're seeing different things.
Yes.
And
I mean, because also, like, one of the things we talked about with, doing a Kickstarter and all that stuff to raise
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah.
Because there's a piece of technology that's going to also add to
Right.
the ease of broadcasting. As each month goes by, we get better and better.
Right.
And my goal, and I know George feels the same way, is to give you, the viewer and the listener, content that you want to come back for.
Right.
The
last thing you want to do is stay stagnant.
Right.
And stale.
Right.
I know we come in here, we've been coming in here every week for the last 2 months now, I think. Right? We've about 2 months in.
Yeah.
And we give everybody, a half hour of us just going back and forth with stuff, and then a half hour of a guest. That can change.
Yeah.
That can evolve. That'll
Right.
change. That'll be whether it's more segments, different guests.
Right.
I definitely want to get a female point of view as far as
Yes.
like in the comic book industry. So if you're a female independent artist, we're not excluding anybody. We just haven't, nobody's really hit us up, say, hey, I want to be on that show. Charles was like, dude, I want to be on that show. So if you're interested, hit us up. And
Right, and I think that's the key. So, Catch the Craze podcast is a show for independence, about independence in all forms of entertainment and media, right? Whether it's art, performance art, whether it's music, whether it's theater. If you're an independent and you are, out there getting your grind on and you want a platform to get out there, hit us up, on Facebook, send us a message. subscribe on YouTube. Send me a message. Right now, we're working on our 2020 lineup, our January lineup. So if you want to be a guest on Catch the Craze and you want to be on our January lineup, hit us up now. Let us know who you are, what you're about. We'll be more than happy to talk to you and give you some airtime. But are you ready for growth? Who's ready for growth?
Yeah, man, you have to be ready for growth.
Right.
You have to be. It's not even an option, right? It shouldn't be an option.
How do you know you're ready for growth?
I don't know, man. I think you just, I hate to say it sounds cliche, but I think you just know. Like, I think when you're tired, if you ever wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm tired of this, man. Like, I need something. You're ready. I think you're ready for growth.
Yeah.
And I think you have to take the steps towards making it happen.
Yes.
Because you can't stay in that same place.
Right. And perfect example is this. Like, we both work full time, right? But every time one of the 2 days that I have off is dedicated to just the show. So what's one day, full day, that's 6 a.m. to midnight. I'm working on either research, I'm working on either putting out more content, editing previous shows to be uploaded, putting together promos. It's no matter how tired I am, no matter if my body's aching, I'm in it. When I'm working, I'm thinking, right? I'm writing, all right, this is a great subject to discuss on the show. I know that I'm ready because this is my DNA right now, right? It is like, this is all I'm thinking about. And it's the primary means for me to really exploit this medium, right? And I have fun doing it. I love doing this. Like, this is something I love to do. So this is all I think about. Even like, in traffic, right? Racing here. I was like, I got to make sure this is on. I got to make sure that's on. It's like my head's always spinning. So I think just hearing from Charles how excited he was to hear you back, right? That's exciting for me. It adds that extra spark. Like, but what's different now from then was we were one-dimensional. We were just audio. We were one-dimensional. We were limited. Now our reach is broader.
All right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And what's great is it's evolving. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just not a traditional comic book show. I believe we are a talk show which covers comic books.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are he said it best, lifestyle show, right? So it's about, we're talking about people's aspirations, careers, we're talking fears, motivations, right? So it isn't just about how many panels do you do a day, right? It's about where were you from? What were some of the influences? What were some of the challenges? This conversation with Charles, think about the challenges he had with health, and the decisions he had to make.
Yeah.
Right? Really life-altering decisions.
Yeah, changed his life.
Yeah.
Completely. And see, and he's he's your question, like he's your typical creator, right? Because he said, I made that change, and it all goes back to internal fury. Like he was able to bring it back to his baby.
Yes.
This is what it is, and it's about a lifestyle. It's,
yes.
He wants to create a universe, and like that language. It's what creators and what creative people do. They just want to do this. They don't know anything else than this, which is the reason why you keep coming back.
Yes.
We all come back, right? It's like you walk away from it, and it's just unfinished business.
It's unfinished business.
It's unfinished, and you got to come back. There was no closure, right? It's almost like a relationship with no closure.
Yeah.
You come back, and you make it work again.
Or like that bully that kept picking on you, and just like, you know what? I can't keep running. Can't keep running away, right? You had to, stand up.
Yeah.
So I guess and what you guys don't know, like on the back end, there's a lot of things that we talk about for the growth of Catch the Craze, that we're in the think tank right now, right? We're the idea generation phase where we're like, oh, what if we did this? Or what if we did this? Is this realistic? And what would that do if we did this? Because I think 2020 is going to be it. I think a couple of things. Number one, we're going to work on doing some live shows at schools, art schools, at conventions. I also, there's some things that we're going to work on, getting a collective group together and doing a roundtable discussion with a bunch of creators in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like having this venue where it's just like it's a roundtable, and it's like what similar to what I see with Joe Button on his podcast on is it BET?
I don't know. I didn't even know he had one. He has one.
Yeah, Joe.
Button?
Yeah. So he has this round table. He has like the couch. I looked at that. I was like, well, there's a lot of time. Imagine getting a bunch of writers and artists into one room, 10 of them, right? And let's just talk.
That's a lot. It's a lot of writers,
right?
And artists.
It's pretty dope.
A lot of different opinions. No, yeah, and a lot of experience.
Yes.
In what you're trying to do.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah, no, I mean, the possibilities are endless, man. I think
endless.
It's all about entertaining and informing and letting people kind of into this world. People may not even know about what the hell is this comic book world.
Yeah,
it's not all it's not all foreign. It's normal things that people love. Think of a passion you have, right? Whether it's fixing cars, whether it's playing an instrument, whatever it is that you love, it's just what we do.
Yes,
that's what it is.
I look at comic books as a static film making, right? So filmmaking is emotion, right? Storyboards. It's static filmmaking, right? So you don't have fluid movement, but you have movement through panels, right? And it's an art form that's been around forever. Yeah. Think about hieroglyphics. Yeah. Think about what they found in the caves, right? That was storytelling, right? We were able to learn about our history based on art that was on rocks.
Right. And that's how they told stories. And that's how they told, whether it was history or whatever they were talking about, that's how they did it. They did it through these pictures on a wall.
Yeah.
We're just doing them on paper or now digitally on,
right.
on tablets or whatever. Right. We're evolving. It's ironic, right, that we're going back to tablets. Yes. People used to draw on tablets and now we're back on tablets. But yeah, man, it's
oh, I like that one. Yeah. Look at you, Georgie. Wow.
He's like, wait a minute, I just got that.
Yes, wow. Look at you.
Right? We're all back. Right? It's all coming full circle.
Right.
The end is near.
The end is near. The end is near. Oh man. So that was cool. And so Christmas is coming around the corner. Are you thinking
of weeks?
Yes, you're thinking of giving yes, we talked about some of the things that we had for gift giving. So let's see, what else do we have? We have, so how about The Art of Lord of the Rings? $46 for this hardcover featuring 500 of the best works of art from Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings. That's a great gift.
Do you have that book?
Not yet. Oh. But I will. That's if you're thinking about giving somebody who's an art lover, a film lover, a fantasy lover, that's a great book.
Do you give gifts to people based on what you think they would like or on what you know they'd like?
What I know they'd like.
Oh, you don't base it on I like this.
No.
I know you're gonna like this. Here, you need to have this.
That's my wife. My wife does that. My wife will come and give me some glow-in-the-dark tie, some Elvis tie, because she knows I love listening to Elvis Presley. Next, I got an Elvis tie. Why would I need an Elvis tie? It just makes sense, right? For me, it's like, for instance, like my sister. I know that she was always talking about being able to promote her own. She independently promotes teeth whitening stuff, right? And but she didn't have the tools. So I got her a laptop. She didn't have a laptop, so I got her a laptop. And now she's interested in doing podcasting, right? So I have a mixer that I don't use anymore,
She got it.
right? And I have an extra mic, so I'm going to help her and I'm going to teach her how to do it so she can do it from home, right? Because the software to do it is free, right? So I think it's really listening to people and seeing my sister-in-law. I know that she's always on the go, but she loves movies. So I got a Apple TV, right? She loves it, right? And it was just by listening. You know, for me, I'm really in tune to people. Wife, not so much, right? But
Where's the disconnect?
it's just very different.
It's different.
Very different.
It's a little more. She's different.
Yes, very different. But yeah. So I think that's a really good one. And then there's let's see.
What is this?
For an artist, here is a 60 pack. It's a $69.99 for 60 markers to be able to color. So you have whether it's a child or it's someone like Brian Kong, who's always doing baseball cards and trading cards and sketch cards. Great way. It's just a great gift to give for the holiday season.
Where are you finding all these things?
It's already preloaded, buddy.
No, I know, but where do you find it?
Oh, you can find this on Amazon.
All right.
On the new deals of the day.
You sure you're not getting paid for this stuff? Like,
yeah, Amazon. You need to hook me up.
I mean, you should be getting paid.
I know,
the
right?
way you're pushing all this.
Jeff Bezos, what's up? Throw me some pesos. So, yeah. So for the holiday season, right? And you're supposed to do it with me, George.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He said,
You should have been. You should be dressing up like Santa.
Santa.
On our Christmas show.
On our Christmas show, I'll be wearing red.
Yeah.
We will be wearing red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just that's as far as you're gonna go. Just red.
I got red.
That's it.
I got my red Yankee cap on. I got my red hoodie. I'm good.
Good to know.
Yes. So, but that's
a couple of weeks. 2 weeks.
yes.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2
weeks.
semanas. Right? There you go. See?
Very good.
Yes.
Woo.
Having the semanas and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. So, that was a good show. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Charles. Much success to you and your film. I can't wait to take a look at it. Again, the question of the day is: are you ready for growth? We learned about. We got to discuss plant-based diets and the benefits of it, and how he's benefiting from it. And I know a lot of people have. And our gift giving topic. So this is please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us and when you subscribe, hit the bell so you can always get the latest episodes. We update religiously every week. So there's a new show every week, and in between now and then, there's always promos, and there's also highlight segments from some of the episodes. So some of the key conversation pieces from the episode. So say you're not sure what about Catch the Craze. So check out one of our 4-minute segments. You'll get a little taste of what it's like, and I'm sure, I guarantee you'll want more. So we appreciate you. Get ready. I don't even know when this is going to air, so I can't even talk about that stuff.
Next week. next week we're gonna have Gary Camp on the show, so tune in
there
for that.
You go. Yes,
and
yes.
That'll be fun. But
he's good. He's good.
I got you.
He's good. Me no puedo.
It's getting late.
It's getting late. So
peace.
We appreciate you, and we will see you.
You so